Hey everyone, my name is Jess, coming to you live from my kitchen. I've partnered with Africa Rome today to do this Redfest presentation and to give you a little bit of a taste into Cape Town and South Africa, which is my home. Now, I started life as a chef, but I've traveled all over the world. I wear many hats in my job. I'm a private chef, but I also do a lot of international consulting, and I like to call myself like a visual storyteller. I do a lot of food media as well. And in my role, in my job, I've traveled everywhere. I've eaten at the best restaurants. I've lived in Asia. I've traveled the whole of Italy and France. And I've got to say, through all of these experiences and eating at all these wonderful places, there's nowhere quite like South Africa. It speaks to me on another level that you just don't find anywhere else in the world. Our cultures are so diverse and our people are so interesting. And our unique situation and position at the bottom of Africa has meant that all of these cultures have interacted and just created their own unique vibe, which is truly special. While our South African history can be a little bit dark in terms of the history of colonialism and slavery, the histories of these have really birthed truly unique and interesting cultures. So I'm from Cape Town, and this is a perfect example of a melting pot city. We were a trading post, and we have a lot of different and interesting influences. So the first one we'll be looking at today is Cape Malay. Now, the Cape Malays are found in a little enclave in Cape Town called the Bo-Kaap, and they have a truly unique and rich heritage filled with a lot of spices and really interesting, like punchy flavors. So I'm going to be combining all of that today into a really nice mussel pot, which is going to be super easy for you guys to do at home. It takes about 20 minutes max to prepare, and we're going to be serving this with some lovely crusty bread. Then the other culture we're going to be looking at is Afrikaans, and that's derived from our Dutch descendants and our Dutch heritage in South Africa. So the Dutch were one of the first people to colonize South Africa, and we're going to be doing these delicious pumpkin fritters. Now, I chose these because I know it's going into fall in the States right now, where a lot of you are based, and everything pumpkin everywhere, pumpkin spice lattes, all of that jazz. So I think these are really good. We call these Pampoen Koekies. You guys can call them pumpkin donuts, and we're going to be serving them with this delicious Amarula caramel sauce today. Now, Amarula is a local alcohol. It's kind of like Bailey's Irish Cream, but so much better, and it's made with the marula fruit. Now, when added to salted caramel, it is absolutely insanely delicious. So I think if you make these this weekend, you're going to be a serious family favorite around your dinner table. And it's going to play in nicely with all the fall seasonal ingredients that are going on in the States right now. So guys, thanks for joining me for this presentation today. I really look forward to showing you a little bit more of South African culture, and I hope you enjoy learning a little bit more about us through this interactive cooking lesson. So we're going to be starting with our Cape Malay mussels today. You're going to want to just add a little bit of olive oil to a pan. About 2 to 3 tablespoons is going to be good. And if you miss any of these instructions, don't worry, because we're going to give you a recipe PDF. After you've added your olive oil to your pot, then you're going to add in your onions, your ginger, and your garlic. You're going to give everything a little stir together, and then you're going to pop your pot on a medium heat and cook your onions until they're soft and translucent, like in the image above. Now, once they get to that stage, you're going to be able to add in your spice mix. Now, the ratios for your spice mix are going to be in our recipe PDF, which you'll all receive. Give everything a little stir and fry it for about 2 to 3 minutes until the spices are smelling really delicious. While the spices fry, it's a great time to get our toast on. So heat your oven to grill, then place some bread on a roasting tray and drizzle them in olive oil. Pop them under the grill for 2 to 3 minutes each side, or until golden brown. Back to our mussels. I've got about 2 kgs of clean mussels here, which will serve 2 very hungry adults, or 4 as a starter. Now we're going to go in with a little bit of white wine. We've used Iona, which is one of our favorite local vineyards. You're going to want to turn your heat up now, and as soon as you see steam, it's time to add your lid onto your pot. Once you've added your lid on, you're going to steam your mussels for about 3 to 4 minutes, or until the shells are open and the mussels are nice and pink. Don't eat any mussels that are still closed, as these might be dead. Now we're going to add in our cream. Bear with me, because of the steam you can't really see what's going on here. But add your cream, and then we're going to give everything a lovely stir. Once you've given your mussels a good stir, making sure none of them escape from the pot, it's time to serve. Serve your mussels immediately, nice and steaming hot. And just before we serve, we're going to add a little bit of fresh parsley, which is really going to make this dish sing. Now, you're going to serve your mussels with some white wine and a little bit of toasted bread that we made earlier. I highly recommend dipping that toasted bread into your delicious mussel broth, as it's going to soak up all those juices and be super yummy. The mussels that we used for our recipe today are sustainably sourced from a farmer in Saldanha Bay. Now, if you would like to join us on a mussel forage and cook your own mussel pot on the beach, please do get in touch. It's one of the amazing experiential food tours that we offer at Africa Rome. Moving on to my favorite recipe, we've got our Pampoen Cookies or pumpkin donuts with a generous drizzle of Amarula caramel. Now, these need to be served hot, but they only come together in 20 minutes, so they're really easy to make. Next, you're going to add all your ingredients into a mixing bowl. I've got 1 cup of pumpkin puree. You can also use pureed butternut or any squash that takes your fancy. Then we're going to add that to some flour along with 3 tablespoons of milk, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of pumpkin spice or mixed spice, nutmeg or cinnamon, whatever takes your fancy, 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1 egg. Don't worry if you didn't catch all of that, because we're going to be providing you with a recipe PDF. Before I give everything a mix together, I like to add a pinch of salt. This is going to bring out the flavors of our spice and our pumpkin and make everything just taste that much more delicious. Keep mixing your batter with a spatula or a whisk until it's nice and smooth, just like this. Then you're going to want to go and heat your oil to about 160 degrees. Don't get it too hot or your donuts are going to fry too quickly and be raw in the middle. When you think your oil might be ready, you can drop in a little bit of batter. It should fizzle and bubble straight away, just like these donuts are doing. Once the oil has come to temperature, you're going to want to drop in tablespoon-sized blobs of batter. Don't go larger than a tablespoon or your donuts won't cook through. These are going to take about 2 to 3 minutes to cook completely. Fry your donuts until they're starting to look golden brown on the underside. Then you're going to grab a metal spider and give them a flip over and cook them on the other side until completely done. If you think your oil's too hot, simply turn the heat down a little bit. Two to 3 minutes later and your Pampoen cookies are done. Get your metal spider and take them out the oil. Then drain them on some kitchen towel or baking paper. To coat our donuts, we're going to make a spiced sugar. So add your caster sugar to a bowl along with your spice mix. Then give everything a nice mix together and toss your donuts through the mixture. Once your donuts are nicely coated, use your metal spider again just to shake off the excess sugar. Repeat the process until all your donuts are nicely covered in sugar and spice mix. Now it's time to make our Amarula caramel sauce. Add your sugar and water to a pot over a high heat. Then cook until the caramel is a nice deep golden brown. You want to take it to the point just before it starts to burn, like so. Once it looks like this, you're going to add in a little bit of your cream. We add our cream a little bit at a time, as the cold cream can make the mixture and the caramel sometimes overflow the pot, so be careful. Once it looks like this, you can add the rest of your cream in. We're then going to give the mixture a swirl just to incorporate all that hard caramel into our cream. Keep stirring until everything is nicely dissolved. Once your mixture's cooled a little, it's time to add our Amarula. Give it a generous slug, then give it a nice mix so that everything's combined. And you're ready to serve. Just let your caramel cool down a little bit to thicken. As the chef, it's now time to do a little taste test. Make sure that everything tastes just right. It's time to serve. Drizzle your fritters in a lot of caramel sauce and place them on the table. It'll make about 30, so decide to share if you want or enjoy the whole plate yourself. So just to wrap things up today, I hope you guys really enjoyed our food presentation and our insight into South African food and culture. Now, the presentation you saw today, that is offered on Africa Roam's travel itinerary. You can join me or one of my amazing team members on a food experience just like this. Or we're going to tailor make one to suit your needs. We've done mussel pots on the beach, we've hiked up Table Mountain and done like bespoke picnics. So there's a multitude of things that we can do to make your travel experience just that little bit more special. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope you really enjoyed everything and learned something new, and you go home and cook the recipes. Cheers.